Okay, let's thread this Merlot ring sling from Soul. So push the material out of the ring, the second ring, which is the inside one, like this. Yeah, hold it in your hand. Okay, and from the beginning, which is this is your top rail, so you gather the material little by little and make it tight in this hand that you're pulling it into. Now, why is threading necessary? I never realized it before I started facing problems in tightening the sling. So if you don't thread your sling properly, you'll definitely have trouble adjusting it once the baby is in it. Okay, so now I've pulled it. And what happens with threading is that all your material is nicely arranged, and basically you should be able to pull. So if you see, this material is linked to each of these strands or threads here. So if I pull this, it should only pull this part, then this part, then this part, and eventually the bottom, which is the seat of the baby, will then be controlled by the last strand. So if we do not thread this properly, this entire thing will not get adjusted, and your baby is going to be in a very awkward position. And eventually what you will end up doing is that you will end up pulling this whole thing down. And what will happen then is that this rings section is going to then slide down like this, which means the baby will slide down as well, which means you are not going to get a proper hold of the baby, and it's going to be scary if it happens, and it will be very discouraging to try the sling again. So this is the threading is the most important part of wearing the ring sling, according to me. So let's bring it back into position, and as you can see, the back, you have nice pleats here like a sari, and then you have all of the strands neatly threaded, which means once the baby is in, you can pull each of the strands. Now when you are tightening, remember not to pull it downwards like this, at least not the whole bunch. Maybe as a strand, if you pull, it won't affect so much, but if you pull this whole thing down, it's going to bring this entire part down. So when you have the baby in the sling, pull it towards the baby, so you tighten it like this. Okay, then another strand, then the middle portion, then the end. So you see how this entire part has become tight over here. I'll show it to you again. So you loosen it and then tighten this part, and towards the baby, like this. So basically you're pulling it in the direction of the seam side.